Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with SMCI Stock Price Analysis. SMCI has been under pressure for so many weeks or months, and we know that there are multiple reasons behind it. In this video, we'll discuss SMCI upside potential and future outlook. Now, let's get started. Starting with the historical data for SMCI, you see that last 6 months SMCI is down about 56%, and that's too much. But interestingly, year to date it's still positive about 44%. And last 1 year, again, it's still positive about 43%. So this means that in last 1 year, SMCI has made a significant upside. So sometime last year, you see that SMCI was around 24 and it made an all-time high in last 1 year that was about 120. So from 24 to 120, about 300 to 400% upside, right, in just 1 year. So the correction was due, but from 120 to 40, right, that's not just the correction. There are multiple reasons behind it, right? One of the biggest reason is the allegation on SMCI accounting practices and also a Department of Justice investigation on SMCI. That's what we heard, right? And third thing is a Form 10K. SMCI continues to delay the submission of Form 10K, and that gives a negative signal to the market that something is wrong with SMCI accounting numbers, so they are not able to reconcile, right? So that's also bring the SMCI stocks down. Now let's take a look weekly summary for SMCI. So as you can see in the weekly candlestick chart from 122 to 41 at this point, you see lots of ups and down, but last 2 3 months the trend is down, right? There is no volatility. So there's one clear direction, and that is the downward direction. And going back to the Form 10K submission, the deadline for SMCI to submit the Form 10K was sometime end of last month, and SMCI has filed an application that says they will delay the submission of Form 10K to NASDAQ. So as you see that, the press release last month, so SMCI to delay Form 10K filing for fiscal year 2024. So that was not a good sign, right? And about 2 weeks ago, SMCI has released the public notification that they were still not able to file Form 10K and they received a non-compliance letter from NASDAQ. Let's try to open it. And you see that the receipt of non-compliance letter from NASDAQ. So that's again not a good sign for SMCI, and it says that the different deadline after the non-compliance letter, so probably 60 days from the date of notice, SMCI has to either file the Form 10K or submit a plan to NASDAQ to regain compliance with NASDAQ's listing rule. So from this day, you can add 60 days from there. SMCI has no other option than to submit the Form 10K if they do not want to get delisted from NASDAQ. And meanwhile, the earnings is due from SMCI sometime end of this month. So the question is, can SMCI release the earnings without submitting the Form 10K? The answer is yes, they can. But it won't be a good idea to do that because again, there will be questions on the revenue and the earnings number they're going to post on the earnings day. So the overall investor in the market will not be confident on the numbers they report without submitting the Form 10K. So, in my opinion, the possibility is maybe they can submit the Form 10K a few days before the actual earnings date, or they can submit the Form 10K on the actual earning day, meaning Form 10K and the earnings on the same day. They can do it. And now the next question is why SMCI stock did not get enough upside momentum before the actual split. We all were expecting that SMCI will surge before the actual split happens, but it did not happen. And the reason, in my opinion, is same is the Form 10K and the Department of Justice investigation started probably about 2 weeks ago. So those two big things, stopped SMCI to go further up. But having said that, at this point, SMCI is very much underpriced. So let's suppose if they submit the Form 10K and the Form 10K looks good, then there is more possibility for SMCI stock to go further up because lots of room to go further up. And these two things are just preventing SMCI to go further up, right? And how about the earnings number for next quarter? Let's take a look. So regarding the earnings expectation, the projection is 7.58. The actuals earnings, the last quarter was 6.25. That was about 23% down from the projections, right? So 7.58 projection is a very good estimate. Let's suppose if SMCI is able to meet this earning expectation, then that will be a good news for the overall market. The chances of SMCI exceeding the expectation probably is low, in my opinion, because looking at the historical data, last quarter, the 6.25, so from 6.25 to 7.58 is a big jump, right? In my opinion, they will be little short of the expectation, right? If not 7.58, probably they might end up between 7 to 7.5. And if that happens again, in my opinion, that won't be a very bad news. In that case, it will be 5 to 10% earnings miss compared with the last quarter. That was 23%, right? And now some recent news regarding SMCI. You see that SMCI got the generative AI servers deal with Fujitsu, and that's a good sign. Supermicro and Fujitsu partners with AI powered server, right? And they are moving towards green AI computing technology, a liquid cool system with Fujitsu. So this tells that SMCI keeps getting more partners, and they have a competitive advantage, because their servers and their products comparatively different from their competitors, right? So they have an edge there, but the future outlook would depend how SMCI responds to the financial irregularities questions and if they are able to submit 10K before the earnings. And this 10K should be good enough that big investors or the law firms cannot raise more questions on the accounting irregularities. And regarding my position on SMCI, I'm still holding SMCI. I sold it, but I again rebought it last week because I think that eventually SMCI will come out of this mess in next month or two. I hope you like this video. Thank you so much for watching. And also, you can become my Patreon exclusive member so that you can access the spreadsheets that I show in my different videos, including today's video. Thank you for your appreciation and watching this video. Talk to you more in the next video. Take care.